Hello everyone and welcome back to the series where we cover the IGCSE Enterprise Syllabus step by step. If you haven't already, make sure to watch the other chapters that we have already covered in the last videos because today we are going to go through Unit 8 Market and Customers. Before we begin, I'd like to start by saying that this is a very important unit and is very common in Section A of your question paper. Anyways, let's get right into it. Alright, so first we're going to go over market research. Market research is the process of gathering, analyzing, and interpreting data about a market. This includes collecting information about the target audience, customers, competitors, and the overall industry. The purpose of market research is to understand customer needs, preferences, and behaviors. It also helps businesses identify market trends and opportunities, measure how effective their current marketing strategies are, and make more informed decisions while reducing risks. Market research also allows businesses to track competitor activities and spot areas for improvement. Potential customers. Potential customers are individuals or organizations that have the need, desire, and financial capacity to purchase a product or service, but they have not done so yet. There are several methods businesses can use to identify potential customers. The first is market research, which is useful for all types of enterprises, especially new businesses. Market research gives insights into customer needs, market trends, and demand. The second method is social media analytics. This is effective for business to consumer, otherwise known as B2C enterprises, like fashion, food, or technology. It helps reach a wide audience and makes it possible to use targeted advertising. The third method is competitor analysis, which is the most useful for established businesses or those in competitive markets. By studying competitors, businesses can identify market gaps and new opportunities for differentiation. The fourth method is networking and referrals. This is particularly effective for small businesses, startups, and service-based enterprises. It builds trust through personal connections and word-of-mouth recommendations. And finally, website analytics. This is best for e-commerce and online-based businesses. It allows businesses to study user behavior and optimize their marketing and sales strategies. Going deeper into market research, there are two main types of market research: primary market research and secondary market research. Primary market research is the collection of original data directly from the source, usually customers. This is done through surveys, interviews, or observations. The advantages of primary research are that it is specific to the business's needs, gives more control over data quality, and provides up-to-date information. However, the disadvantages are that it can be time-consuming, expensive, and sometimes only uses a limited sample size. Secondary research involves analyzing existing data that has already been collected by others. This includes industry reports, academic papers, or government statistics. The advantages are that it is quick to access, low in cost, and usually provides large data sets. The disadvantages are that it may not be specific to the business, and it can sometimes be outdated or lack accuracy. Now let's go more in depth into market research methods. For primary market research, the most common ways are surveys, interviews, focus groups, and observations. Whereas for secondary market research, the most common ways are reviewing academic papers and government statistics. Surveys are customizable and can reach a wide audience. They provide quantifiable data that is easy to compare. However, surveys may suffer from response bias, can be time-consuming to analyze, and can also be costly. Interviews provide in-depth insights, high-quality data, and personalized answers. But interviews take time. They can be expensive, and they require skilled interviewers to be effective. Focus groups provide rich qualitative data because they allow direct interaction with customers. They are also flexible in how they are run, but the sample size is small. There is a risk of groupthink where participants influence each other and the results are often harder to analyze. Observations give real-time data, show natural customer behavior, and avoid bias from people's answers. But observations can be subjective, limited to a specific environment, and often time-consuming. Academic papers provide reliable data and in-depth analysis. They give access to research that has already been carefully reviewed. However, they can be complex to interpret, not always up-to-date, and may not be industry-specific. Government statistics are usually free or low-cost, reliable, and widely recognized, but they may not cover niche markets, are limited to publicly available data, and can sometimes be too broad. Okay, market research is over. Now we'll move on to the next topic, customer retention. Customer retention is the strategies a business uses to keep its existing customers and encourage them to buy again. Retaining customers helps to build brand loyalty, defend market share, and improve sales and profit. There are several methods to measure customer satisfaction and retention. Businesses can measure the number of sales and complaints, use mystery shopper feedback, run questionnaires, or conduct focus groups. There are also several ways to retain existing customers. Businesses can provide effective customer service, have a system for resolving complaints, offer loyalty rewards, and develop new products and services to keep customers engaged. Now, marketing communication. When you see this table, don't get scared. We're going to go over all of them one by one and break them down so it is easy for you to understand. Marketing communication is how a business promotes its products or services to customers. Each method has its own costs, availability, and suitability. Number 1, television advertising. Television advertising has a wide range and short visual impact, and it helps build brand awareness. But it is very expensive, exposure time is short, and it may not target specific groups effectively. Radio advertising. Radio advertising is more cost-effective than TV advertising, works well for local markets, and allows frequent repetition. But it has no visuals, limited targeting, and people may not pay attention if they are doing other activities. Plus, not many people listen to the radio nowadays either. Cinema advertising. Cinema advertising has strong visual and sound impact and reaches a captive audience. However, it is costly to reach large numbers of people, limited to those who attend cinemas, and exposure is short. Newspaper and magazines. Newspaper and magazines have credibility, target specific demographics or regions, and magazines can last a long time, but readership is declining. The reach can be limited, and national publications can be expensive. Posters. Posters are low cost, widely available, and highly visible in busy areas. However, they only give limited information, they are short term, and it's difficult to measure their effectiveness. Leaflets. Leaflets are also low cost, customizable, and can be distributed directly to the target audience. But many people see them as junk mail, exposure is limited, and they are not suitable for all businesses. Online communication and social media. Online communication and social media have a global reach, allow highly targeted ads, and are interactive and cost-effective. But they require constant monitoring, can lead to ad fatigue, and are time-consuming. Word of mouth and announcements. Word of mouth and announcements are free, build trust, and are effective for local businesses. However, they are difficult to control, hard to measure, and rely completely on customer satisfaction. Finally, sponsorships. Sponsorships create positive brand associations, give targeted exposure, and can provide long-term visibility. But sponsorship is expensive. Businesses have little control over the content, and it may not directly increase sales. Anyways, that is the end of Unit 8. If this video helped, make sure to leave a like. That's all for today. Thank you so much for watching.